Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new, please do not forget to subscribe and do give a thumbs up. Okay, so as the title says, MarriageICOP is a sin. So I had an encounter with this guy who told me that marriage in commercial property is a sin. I was like, what? Marriage? Sin? Are you okay? What he actually told me was that saying marriage in community of property is a sin is a figurative way of saying marriage in community of property is actually bad news. Okay, so I kind of agree with this guy. Well, we're actually both studying the same degree, so I kind of agree with him looking into it seriously. So well, I get that a marriage is a time in a person's life where there's a lot of joy and seamlessly fairy tale type of a wedding and all sorts of positive things. But truth is, there are seriously a lot of things that one needs to consider before saying I do. Yes. So that is what we are going to look into. So after I give you this information, it's up to you whether you believe or not. And if you believe that it's bad news indeed, then you will also find ways to protect yourself against it. Well, in South Africa, a default system of marriage is a marriage in community of property. By so saying, this means that if you get married or your wedding occurs before you sign a prenup or antenuptial contract, then automatically marriage in community of property is the system that is going to govern your marriage. Okay, so what does this mean in actually mtakababa? Okay, this actually means that you are saying I agree and I consent to that myself and my spouse, we will be equally sharing the assets and the possessions which were acquired premarital and after marriage. Okay, that may sound like a good thing, but there's a reality behind these things. One of the disadvantage, okay, every marital system has its own pros and cons, but looking into things, the disadvantages of marriage in community of property outweighs the disadvantages of all other systems combined. The first disadvantage that came to my mind was debt. Well, when you get married in community of property, you are actually saying all the debts that my spouse incurred before we got married and that he incurs when we are married are also my debts. So this basically means if you are a financially stronger spouse rather, which means your position will be weakened by being married in community of property. That is what it actually means. And if you marry someone who is insolvent, which means you are also insolvent, and they will freeze your estate and actually sequestrate everything and pay the creditors, isn't it? Sure, imagine I would die. But prenup is important. Well, another thing is that we cannot say that a marriage is a permanent institution. That is a no. I mean, like, even those people who got divorced, they never saw themselves being divorced, or they never planned to get divorced at some point in time of their marriage. So what I can tell you is that marriage is not a permanent institution, though sometimes it is, but it is not. So if you were married in community of property and then the two of you decides to get divorced due to any of other grounds, it may be even irretrievable breakdown of marriage or any other ground that is accepted by the court. Well, that means that upon the dissolution of the marriage, you are going to share all the assets, all the possessions equally. If you are the one who is financially stronger, so which means you are going to suffer the disadvantage, you are going to be prejudiced. So imagine now You are the one who was maintaining the living costs. You are the one who was paying every debt. You are the one who brought in many assets. So this is not about gender inequality or gender whatever. It's just facts, even if it's a woman or a man. So you are the one who does all that, and then your spouse actually doesn't do anything, just stays at home, or do just something that doesn't bring enough income. Then you are going to share half of your things with him. After divorce, people won't be in love anymore when they decide to divorce. And now you are thinking, I have to give this particular individual whom I despise everything that I own, half of it. Half, half. Not 40%, half. If you have $1 million, we go from to half $1 million. Well, another disadvantage that is of great concern is if your spouse dies. Well, if your spouse dies, well, I guess like, you've got nothing to lose. If you are the only spouse, there are no descendants, you get to inherit everything. However, say that the spouse had children, the deceased one had children, and that those children are not yours for that matter, and you are only going to get half, and half of the joint estate will be shared equally amongst the children of the deceased. Or if there are no children, the closest relative of the deceased spouse. But if your spouse dies testate, I don't know if it's advantageous or what, but I think it will depend on what is written inside the will. So yeah, but I think death is the one that makes things easier, especially if there are no children involved. Then either you are a female or a male, because most people would say normally it's females who are financially weaker. But whoa, I'm telling you, the world is changing. Females are becoming financially stronger each and every single day, everywhere in this world, and there are actually a lot of females who are financially stronger than their spouses. So it's not an ex-lege in the language of law. It's not an ex-lege that a woman is always financially weak. So, or protect yourself, or don't say you were not informed of these things. It's your responsibility to get informed, no one else, otherwise you will suffer the consequences. Well, no one wants to get divorced, I believe. I mean, if you are getting married, you are not even thinking that one day we will get divorced, but it happens. This is life, it's reality, and we have to face it, and we have to know it, and we have to prepare for it. So you know what to do. Sign a prenup, Mdagama. There's nothing wrong in that. Sign a prenup and be safe of your assets, unless you're the one who's financially weaker, and then it's to your advantage if you marry in community of property. Well, then I guess jackpot. I mean, who doesn't want to have money? Everybody wants to have money. Money has power. So if you have money, you have power. So everyone wants money. So if you're the one who's financially weaker, and your spouse choose to turn a blind eye to these disadvantages, then upopile. And thanks for watching, but I have a confession to make before I end this video. Okay, my confession is, some of you might have already realized. Okay, the confession is that, oh god, the confession the confession is that okay, let me put on a serious face. The confession is that, guys, my nostrils are not similar in shape, and are also not similar in sizes. So that is my confession.